This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the LD Micro 11th Annual Main Event 2018 in Bel Air, California. With me right now is Andy Astor from Nephros, Inc. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is NEPH. Andy, welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks very much, Robert. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you on. So for our audience, let's start off with an overview of the company, and we'll go from there.
Sure. Nephros is a small medical device company that focuses on water filtration to aid in infection control in hospitals primarily.
So let's get a history of the company. When did it start, and how did you develop to where you're currently at today?
Well, the company started 20 years ago, and I won't go into the sordid, long history of the company. It was originally a company focused in the dialysis space. To make a long story short, we have morphed or pivoted the company to really focus primarily on water filtration for infection control. We are, as of about 3 or 4 years ago when we pivoted, we have gone from essentially zero revenue to $6 million over the last couple of years, and we are nearly cash flow positive in the filter part of our business, which is 100% of our revenue right now.
So let's get into that a little bit. Tell me a little bit more about the water filtration process, and how is it unique when it's compared to the competition out there?
So that's two important questions. The filtration process is really used in places where patients are very sick. So in burn units, in cancer wards, in ICUs, and where patients are immunocompromised, and where they touch the water in their sinks, in their showers, in their ice machines. Nephros filters the water such that bacteria and viruses and endotoxins and pieces of DNA are basically prevented from getting them sick and in some cases killing them. The difference between Nephros and our competition is really primarily the pore size and the flow rate. And I'll talk about just very briefly what that means. The holes, if you will, in the Nephros filtration system are 5 nanometers, 5 billionths of a meter in diameter, whereas most of the competition is between 100 and 200 nanometers. And so we're 40 times smaller, and yet the water flow rate is the same, yielding an excellent flow rate in the sinks and the showers and the ice machines, but saving patients' lives in the process.
So is that the maximum size of the hole for the filtration that can possibly be out there? Because you would think like it's almost like all right, I'm going to make a 7-minute abs video. All right, well, I'm going to make a 6-minute abs video. You know, is that out there?
Well, let's put it this way. I'm not aware on the planet Earth of another filter that has smaller pore sizes to it. And in filtration, filtration is really nothing more than you think about a colander or a strainer, right? It's all a matter of how small are the holes and how much surface area can you provide to the liquid going through it so that more bacteria or other problem material is retained.
So how was it previously done? I mean, you would think that they needed to have some type of filtration system in there. And why is it taking so long to finally get to a place where it's this small of a hole that it's going through?
Well, it's a great question. And the truth is that many facilities, many healthcare facilities never filter in the first place, and that is changing dramatically, partially because the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Systems, the CMS, has now created a requirement, a regulation that requires hospitals to have a water management plan, which means they have to test their water. If they find contamination, they have to remediate it with something, for example, like a filter. And then if they don't do that, then they are subject to losing their Medicare benefits.
So what's been the company's market penetration thus far with your products?
Well, we're growing at about 50 to 100% per year. We've had 9 consecutive quarters of growth, year-on-year growth that averages 64%. But we started off from zero. So we're probably in somewhere in the 5 to 10% range. We have an enormous opportunity for growth, and partially because the regulations are changing, as I just described, the market itself also has an enormous potential for growth. But we're at a point now where most of the hospitals have heard of us. We're in many major hospitals that you and all of your viewers would know, and we're getting quite a reputation around us.
So, Andy, I also got to ask, for the filtration systems, is it a retrofit? How does it work once a hospital is engaged Nephros?
Well, it's very simple. If you've already got filters in place, it's easy to retrofit with our filters. The plumbing connections are the same, and if you don't, then you've got to get a filter. You got to get them installed by a plumber. It's not that big a deal.
And what's your background? I mean, how did you get into all this?
Well, my background isn't medical device specific. It's really general management and financial management. I've been in the insurance space. I've been in the enterprise software space. I've been in the medical device space. I think of myself really as a business-oriented financial strategy guy.
And from what you can tell us, what are some of the company's growth drivers now moving into 2019?
Sure. Part of the growth is what I just talked about, right? It's the land and expand of, just get into as many healthcare facilities as possible and grow them like crazy. But we're at a point now where, as I said, we've got 9 consecutive quarters of double-digit growth. And so really the next key point is, what are the adjacencies beyond hospital water filtration? At the end of the day, Nephros is a water quality, water purity, water filtration company. And there's enormous opportunities in adjacencies there, such as the food and beverage space, such as the military and water purification in the field, recreational, home. So there's lots of opportunities there that we're not really publicly talking about just yet.
And where can our audience go and find more information about Nephros?
At www.nephros.com.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the LD Micro Main Event 2018 in Bel Air, California. With me again has been Andy Astor from Nephros, Inc. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is NEPH. Andy, thank you for joining me today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Robert.